The human mind is a powerful tool, but it's also a clever trickster. It can create illusions, distort reality, and convince us to believe things that aren't true. These mental traps quietly control how we think, feel, and act without us even realizing it. They're the invisible chains that limit potential, destroy confidence, and sabotage decisions. To outsmart them, we first have to recognize how they operate deep within our subconscious. One of the most common mental traps is confirmation bias. This happens when we only seek information that supports what we already believe, while ignoring evidence that contradicts it. It makes us feel right even when we're wrong. It's why people argue endlessly online, why we stay loyal to bad habits, and why growth often feels uncomfortable. The key to overcoming confirmation bias is to question yourself. Ask, what if I'm wrong? When you start exploring different perspectives, your mind becomes flexible and your judgment becomes sharper. Another dangerous trap is the negativity bias. Our brains evolved to focus on threats and danger, so we remember criticism more than praise and failures more than wins. This bias makes the world feel darker than it really is. To beat it, you have to consciously retrain your brain to notice the good. Write down small victories, focus on what went right, and balance your perspective. It's not about ignoring problems, it's about not letting them dominate your thoughts. Then there's the sunk cost fallacy, a mental trap that keeps us stuck. It convinces us to continue investing time, money, or energy into something just because we've already spent so much on it. Relationships, jobs, or projects that no longer serve us often fall victim to this illusion. The truth is, past effort doesn't equal future value. The smarter choice is to cut your losses and move forward. Progress often means letting go of what's already gone. The availability heuristic is another trick your brain plays. It makes you believe that the more easily something comes to mind, the more common or true it must be. This is why news stories about plane crashes make people fear flying, even though it's statistically safer than driving. To outsmart this, remind yourself that what's most vivid isn't always what's most real. Rely on facts, not feelings, when evaluating risks. A subtler trap is the halo effect, where one positive trait blinds us to flaws. It's why we trust attractive people more or assume confident speakers are always right. This bias leads to poor decisions in relationships, hiring, and leadership. The antidote is awareness. Evaluate people and situations based on consistent patterns, not first impressions. One of the hardest traps to break is catastrophic thinking, the tendency to imagine the worst possible outcome. Your brain does this to protect you, but it ends up creating anxiety, fear, and paralysis. The best way to escape this trap is to challenge it logically. Ask yourself, what's the evidence this will happen? Or, what would I tell a friend in my situation? When you bring logic into emotion, the fear begins to lose power. Another mental snare is overgeneralization, turning one bad experience into a permanent belief. Failing once becomes, I always fail. Being rejected once becomes, no one likes me. These are mental shortcuts that simplify the world, but distort reality. Replace them with balanced thinking. One event doesn't define your life. Every failure carries feedback, not fate. Lastly, beware of anchoring bias, the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information you get. Whether it's a price tag, a first impression, or an initial idea, that anchor shapes all later judgments. Skilled manipulators and marketers exploit this bias constantly. To counter it, pause before making decisions. Compare alternatives, look for context, and question initial assumptions. Outsmarting mental traps isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming self-aware. The brain evolved to take shortcuts to save energy, but in a complex world, those shortcuts can mislead us. Once you understand these biases, you can choose thoughts deliberately instead of being ruled by them. Awareness gives you control, and control gives you freedom. The smartest minds aren't the ones that never fall for mental traps. They're the ones that notice them and step out before it's too late. If you want to learn more about how the mind works and how to protect yourself from manipulation, bias, and hidden influence, don't forget to subscribe to Dark Psychology for weekly insights into the human mind.